Ladies and gentlemen, sit on back and welcome in to the Drafted Up podcast. I'm Theo, that's Nick. Today, we're going to recap week 2 of the NFL. It feels like a blur when we were in the offseason. Now we're already heading into week 3. The NFL season
Yep, 2
moves
weeks down
at a
already,
ridiculous rate. Yeah, how you doing?
Yes, sir. Doing good. As always, week 2's down in the books, and I'm sitting here crying through all the injuries. So I'm just staring at this Ziffle title because I know it's not going to be mine next year. That's for damn sure, dude.
Week 2 is just
injuries hurt hard.
Yeah, everyone's gone down, and I'm going to try to touch base on all of them today. I did not write any of them down, so it's going to be trusting the old noggin, guys. We go through games, maybe it'll spur up who's been hurt. But yeah, week 2 was rough for injuries, but an exciting week of football.
Oh yeah, always is, dude. Those good games here and there. The Rams are in a way worse spot than I could ever imagine with that offensive line. So it's crazy, dude.
Yeah. Let's start with Thursday. We were recording while the game was on. The Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins. Buffalo topped Miami 31-10, but the biggest story there was Tua Tagovailoa sustaining another concussion. It was rough.
Yeah.
If you saw it, you know it wasn't very even rough. That bad of a hit. So it looked like just like a regular hit, but it's always concerning. I'm not over here Tua's weak, but he's got a history of it. 5 concussions, 5 serious concussions. 3 years?
Something like that. It's a very high number.
Yeah, and he had 3 in that one season. So, which was alarming because all of them, he went into the paralysis thing. Not a medical. I don't know the medical term off the top of my head. Where his hands froze up. He was able to walk off on his own power, which is good, but immediately ruled out. And today he was placed on IR, so he will miss at least 4 games, which is good. I know a lot of people on social media just jump to he's got to retire, but if he's able to keep playing, he should. And easing him back in is the right move. They shouldn't be treating it like the normal concussion protocol where a guy usually misses a game. But putting him on IR 4 weeks kind of let him really mull it over and ease himself into a healthy situation. And as for Miami, it's gonna be rough without him.
It's gonna be bad. Yeah.
So
for sure.
Dolphins players, they got a ton of them. They take a hit, except maybe Devon Achane. I think he's completely fine, no matter who's the quarterback.
Perfectly fine. And I even think Tyreek will be fine.
Yeah, Tyreek will be fine.
Tyreek will be fine.
You might just miss the big, deep shots down the field and hope it's more of a dump off to him that he takes to the house. But Jalen Waddle takes
week
way
1,
bigger.
Tua missed. Oh, 100%. Waddle takes a huge hit. But week 1, Tua missed Tyreek on a deep shot. So it's going to be few and far between compared to Tua. But Tyreek's still going to have his deep plays sprinkled throughout the season. And it's the right call for him to go on IR. There's no need to rush back. It's his real life that we're thinking about. Football is just a job. It's a game. He has a family. Football, it is whatever. So as long as he's healthy, at some point, I think he's going to be back this year.
Yeah, I agree. And hopefully that is the case. He does health up and recover from this. Fantasy-wise, this game, it was kind of a dud. The Bills kind of took over early. Unless you had James Cook or Devon Achane. Both those guys went off.
Tales of two halves. Cook killed the first half, and then Achane was just a whole bunch of hoopla throughout the back end of the game because he had to play because Jeff Wilson got hurt.
Yeah. So James Cook, he was the running back 2 on the week, I believe. He finished...
I think Achane ended up passing him.
He was the running back 3. Yeah, Achane did pass him.
Mm-hmm. Achane garbage point his way above James Cook that game. It was crazy.
Yeah. So Cook, 11 carries for 78 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had 1 catch for 17 and another touchdown, 3-tutty game, and then Achane, 22 carries. Yeah, he did. Yeah,
he got the goal line work. Yeah.
Yeah, Achane, 22 carries for 96 yards, all 7 of his catches for 69 and a touchdown. Josh Allen, if you had him, you probably disappointed. 13 for 19 for 139 and a touchdown and only 2 carries for 2 yards, but they didn't need him. Like James Cook, this was a James Cook game, and this is what Buffalo, I think, wants to do. I think they want to be a running team. I don't think they want to rely on Josh Allen's arm, but
sometimes you're going to have to.
You didn't even have to rely on his legs.
Yeah, well, James Cook is that dude. But I think these are going to be the games where it's going to be sprinkled in for Allen. And I don't think that's why he's going to finish QB1 like he has been the last few seasons. Because he only had 13 points? Something like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So he didn't have that was a dud game for fantasy-wise, but he went in there and he didn't have to play. This game was over at halftime. Cook played only 2 quarters, and he still finished RB3. This is the offense the Bills want to run. They ran it a ton last year, and it worked. When they put this offense into play, the Bills really kicked it into another gear. They're a run-first team now. James Cook is a lock. And, Allen for sure is a lock too, but you have to watch out. These games are going to happen.
Yeah, and PPR standpoint, Khalil Shakir was okay. 5 catches for 54.
For sure.
Even Kincaid, 4 for 33. Definitely better than the 2-target game he had week 1.
He got hurt. He got kicked in the head.
Yeah. But it was nice to see that they utilized him a bit more.
They were trying to get him the ball, for sure.
And then Jalen Waddle, 4 for 41. Tyreek Hill, 3 for 24 and a 12-yard carry. The passing game wasn't working, especially after Tua went down. And even when Tua was in, he threw 3 interceptions.
He looked bad.
The Buffalo defense was all over this dude. Miami needs to figure out their offensive line situation, but Buffalo stomped them, and people were worried about Buffalo. I'm not. I think they're a contender in the AFC, especially if
for sure
they're able to just run you into the ground.
I think their window is as open as it has been with Allen there, so they're looking real good, dude. To be able to look this good in 2 weeks into the season, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Speaking of not looking good, the Baltimore Ravens fall to 0-2, and they lose to the Las Vegas Raiders 26-23. Baltimore was just running away with it. It was 23-13. And they were just trying to just run the clock out. And somehow Vegas got back into this game, and
Devontae Adams, dude. He was super quiet all game, and then all of a sudden he finished with a crazy stat line.
Yeah,
he got a game-tying touchdown. Adams looked real good on the back end of that game. I don't know what's happening in the Baltimore, dude. 0-2 is scary, dude. 0-3 teams it's hard to make the playoffs if you start 0-3.
Yeah, the Baltimore line, like we brought up with Miami, the Baltimore line just Max Crosby was constantly in the backfield, and Lamar Jackson can avoid pressure, but you don't want him to have to be doing that almost every snap. And if you saw the end of the game, I don't know why he pitched it back to Justice Hill. They did the traditional fourth, last play of the game, try to do a deep shot, and Lamar just let these dudes run down the field, and he took off.
Yeah, for sure.
And
he just dipped.
He had maybe one juke, and he beat that guy, and he had a clear shot to the end zone, and he pitched it back to Justice Hill, and it went downhill from there. But Lamar had an okay game. 247, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 5 for 45 on the ground. But it was pretty much a tale of the 2 receivers. They were the best guys on each side. Zay Flowers had a killer game.
Oh yeah, for sure.
11 targets,
he's able to get into the end zone,
1 and 1.
Yeah, for sure. That's a good game. Derrick Henry even was nice, dude. He put up 84 yards a tutty.
Yep, and caught a pass for 12. The Raiders' backfield is of zero interest at this point.
It's so bad, dude. It's horrendous.
Zamir White was 9 for 24, 3 catches for 14 yards, and then Alexander Madison was grazed with a touchdown, but 4 carries for 1 yard.
Yeah, he literally averaged 0.25 yards a carry.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
Yeah,
but he got that tutty, dude. So he's had back-to-back games with a tutty. But dude, Brock Bowers though. Brock Bowers though, bro.
My start of the week at tight end, caught all 9 of his targets for 98 yards. Your start of the week did fine too. If you had Mark Andrews in, 4 catches,
you're
for
happy
51,
PPR. Yeah, you're fine with it.
He outsnapped Isaiah Likely.
Which you want?
I know people were worried about that, but that was a definite overreaction from week 1. But
for sure,
Baltimore's. I'm worried.
It's a concern. You playing in a really good division.
Do you know who they have off the top of your head?
Dallas
for next week. Dallas. Okay, that'll be a good one.
Yes, it will.
That's almost a must-win for either
Both
team.
teams. Yes, sir.
Yeah, but Vegas, Brock Bowers, he's just killing it here at rookie tight end.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to rookie tight ends usually aren't your productive pieces, but last year Sam Laporta was really good. And now Brock Bowers just come out here and just catching a ton of passes.
If he's able to do this, dude, he's gonna be probably the best tight end drafted come next season.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if he's tight end one off the board next year.
For sure. Like Sam Laporta was this season, and he wasn't getting 9 catches a game, dude. Like if he's able to do this, 90 yards, 9 catches, he's gonna get a couple tutties, dude. Brock Bowers is legit.
Yeah, and then there's always the wonder of, is Devontae Adams going to be there?
He might get trade deadline. For sure.
if he's moved either this season or next off season, Brock Bowers is the clear cut number one option there. Which just look what Travis Kelce did.
I kind of think people forgot how good of a prospect he was when he was coming out. And now it's like it's right here in front of us. 9 targets, 9 catches, 98 yards. Like it's right here in front of us. Brock Bowers is that fucking dude.
Yeah, I was never concerned about the prospects of Brock Bowers. I'm more concerned, just like I was with Adams,
the offense,
the quarterback play and the offense in Vegas. For sure. Speaking of quarterback play, the Carolina Panthers, they fell to 0-2.
They finally did
26-3 loss to the Chargers, who now are 2-0. They benched Bryce Young. Maybe they did take him to brunch and benched him over brunch.
I don't know if they'd spend the money on that.
He's been 18 for 28, 84 yards and an interception on Sunday. And
I don't even know how you have 18 completions and you have 84 yards. Like 18 completions is a good amount. And you
here we go.
84 yards.
Justin Herbert had 14 and he had 130.
Exactly. He had 4 less completions and he had so many more yards. He had 50 more yards. It's the right call to bench him. He's not going to be the guy. There's nothing that he could show you from now to the end of the season that he's going to be worth starting.
Yeah.
The line is horrendous. Carolina's an horrendous organization. I don't think any quarterback would have succeeded here. Like, no offense to him. I don't think CJ Stroud would have probably failed there, dude.
The line's horrendous, yet they've spent a ton of money on it in the offseason and a ton of money on bringing in weapons, and it's just not working. So, and I like Dave Canales as a coach.
Deontay Johnson is garbage. He hasn't done nothing. Like, hopefully switching quarterbacks, he can finally show up. But everything in Carolina looked like a huge bust, dude.
Yeah, I mean, Deontay was 3 for 15. Adam Thielen was 2 for 20. Mingo was 1 for 1. Xavier Legette didn't even have a target.
That's crazy. He went from your most targeted guy week 1 to no targets. It's almost like Keon Coleman in Buffalo. Like, the receiving crews are so wonky. Like, you can't start any of those guys. Then, like, none of them are worth starting.
Yeah. So Andy Dalton steps in now for Carolina. So if you happen to have a piece of that offense, maybe you're a little happier, but I don't know if it's going to make too much of a difference. I think Carolina's just a bad team, but I would call about Bryce Young, see if they're willing to move him. Like, if I'm the Rams, Matt Stafford's getting up there. If I can get Bryce Young, Sean McVay's a wizard.
I mean,
so maybe he can get whatever out of Bryce Young to work, but sitting a year and a half behind Matt Stafford, probably not a bad thing for Bryce Young.
That is true. And, like, look at the 2 quarterbacks that come to mind right off the bat are Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold. Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold are killing it right now. Sam Darnold went in week 2 and picked San Fran's defense apart, dude. And both these guys were in Carolina for a good amount of time for Sam Darnold. Baker was there for, I can't even remember, a year maybe.
Half a season.
And they just looked horrendous there. And now, like, these guys are, like, arguably, like, Baker's legit. And Darnold, if he keeps playing like this, he's probably going to be a starter next season somewhere else.
Yeah.
So, Carolina's on a, like, they're such a bad organization.
Yeah,
dude.
like Baker's boom last year, everyone credited it to Dave Canales, which it's fine. I get it, because he did the same thing with Gino. But that's what got him this head coaching job, and it's just not connecting with Bryce Young, whether it be management, whether it be Bryce Young, whether it be Dave Canales. We don't know. We're not there. But we know Dave Tepper's got a short fuse. Who knows how long Dave Canales is even going to get here in Carolina?
Exactly. He'd be lucky to be the coach after next season. Like, he'll probably be fired in the middle of next season if it continues. But yeah, get any Carolina Panther just out of that. Just sell the team. Get rid of them. Their owner's crazy, dude. I feel so bad for the Panthers fans and organization. It's just gets on fire.
Chuba Hubbard had an okay game, 10 for 64,
he had a nice
4 catches
back
for 12 yards.
Mm-hmm.
So it's his backfield. But the Chargers, J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah, dude.
17 for 131. He had another 40-yard plus rush.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, another touchdown. Gus Edwards outsnapped him again. 18 for 59. Yeah.
This is 2 weeks in a row. He's outrushed, like, carried-wise, JK, but
yeah, he's just
Gus Edwards is not doing it, dude.
He's just doing the dirty work.
Which is weird, because, like, Gus Edwards averaged, like, 5.5 a carry, and it's not happening this year. He's below, it's, like, barely 3.
Yeah, Justin Herbert was fine. 2 turnovers. He had a fumble, an interception, two touchdowns. Yeah, he did get beat up a bit. The receiving crew, though, Quentin Johnston? If we just underestimated Cuge, is Cuge for real? 5
I don't know.
For 51 and 2 touchdowns. He looked good the week before. He looks to be the number 1 or number 2 option here. It ain't Josh Palmer. Ladd McConkey was only 4 targets and only went 2 for 26. Palmer was 2 for 19.
I would say he's the number 1 target receiver-wise. Like, Ladd had the touchdown week 1, but without that touchdown, he still only had, like, it was like 3 for 39 or something like that. Like, Cuge had 3 catches week 1, 5 targets. This week he had 6 targets, 2 tutties. If he keeps this up, dude, he's worth having. Josh Palmer, those looked real rough. He got kicked out of the game week 1, 2 targets week 2. So
I don't know what's going on with Josh Palmer, but like, if I'm a Josh Palmer owner and Quentin Johnston's on my waivers, I'm switching him out.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I doubt Ladd's on the waivers, but if someone gave up on Ladd or he happens to be there, I'd switch him out for any of you. Like, Josh Palmer would be my 3rd option receiver wise for the Chargers right now.
Yeah. All right. The Dallas Cowboys lose to the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah.
The Saints did it again.
This is gross.
Another 40 spot.
Yeah.
44-19 over Dallas. Derek Carr is a dog right now.
Yeah, 11 completions.
It's just like efficient work.
It's crazy.
Like 11 for 16, 243, 2 touchdowns.
And
he had a rushing touchdown.
They legit.
Like, he's just out there putting in the work. And Alvin Kamara.
Do you think they're legit? How many times do the Saints have to do this? They got Philly next week, I think.
If they beat the Eagles, I don't care what the score is. If they beat the Eagles, I'm in. I'm in on New Orleans. Because, like, the first week was Carolina. Okay. Dallas? Okay. All right. Now I'm watching. Now I'm like, okay, maybe week 1 was legitimate.
Dallas is a good defense.
If they go out and beat Philly, which is plausible, we'll get to Philly.
That Monday night game was, whew.
Yeah.
They got Atlanta after Philly. Like, they got Philly, Atlanta, Kansas City, Tampa. That's 4 rough games, dude. Like, if New Orleans walks out of that 2-2, that's impressive.
Yeah, I would still say Tampa's the best team in this division.
I agree.
But the New Orleans offense, Clint Kubiak, is doing a masterful job, and he might be playing his way into a head coaching job if they keep this up. But Alvin Kamara, like I said, he found the juice. 20 carries for 115, 3 touchdowns, 3 catches for 65, and another touchdown. If you're an Alvin Kamara owner, you're thrilled. You got RB1 right now.
Kamara looked so good, dude. Like, it almost went back to that Christmas game where Kamara had like 5 tutties, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, salty about that, huh?
Yeah, against the Vikings.
But Kamara, dude, we've talked about him pretty much all offseason, dude. He's thriving in this offense. He's such a PPR cheat code, dude. He looks so efficient now, dude. He looks like healthy. He looks like Kamara did 3-4 years ago, where he's gonna finish RB 2, 3. Like, he's gonna be top of the dogs.
Yeah,
I would like to kick this back to Derek Carr real quick. If you go back to last season, his last 4 games, he finished QB 7, 3, 17, QB 1. This year, he's finished QB 6 and 3. So the last 6 weeks, he's finished as a top 10 or a top 7 QB 5 of the 6 weeks. They've scored 40 points in the last 3 games, 2 this year and the last week of last season. The Saints their offense is somehow legitimate, dude.
They have a ton of weapons too. Like,
oh yeah,
maybe that's what it is. But like, you brought up Kamara. Like, our concern with Kamara, like 2 years ago, he was just inefficient. He just had like ugly grunt volume work. But like, he found like he's not even PPRing his way to points. He only had 3
he's
catches.
Like running back in it.
Yeah. He's looking rejuvenated. He's very efficient. Whatever Clint Kubiak is doing there with Kamara, it's doing wonders. Rashid Shaheed did it again. 4 catches, 96 yards, and a touchdown. He had a 50-plus yard touchdown. 3 carries for 13 yards on top of that. Chris Olave's was more involved, but you're still concerned. He was 4 for 81. He went down at the 1. He almost had a touchdown, which changes the
great catch.
If he gets that touchdown, you're looking at like, oh, all right, Chris Olave's back, baby. We're not worried.
Yeah, for sure. We're not worried at all, dude. If you would have added a tutty that game, you'd be thrilled. But I mean, you're still happy with 81 yards. Like, that's still a really good game. You just want to see a little more catches.
Way better than week 1. The tight ends, uninvolved in New Orleans this week. Yeah. No points. Dallas, the passing work was fine.
Taysom Hill was taken to the hospital in the middle of the game.
He says he's fine. He's questionable this week, so we'll see where he goes. Dak Prescott threw the ball 39 times, 27 for 39, 293, touchdown, 2 interceptions.
2 picks.
Yep. The running game in Dallas, Rico Dowdle was the guy, 7 for 30, 4 catches for 29. Zeke was 6 for 16, 2 catches for 16.
But I mean, when you're down that much, you can't even really run it. You're trying to run it. You even threw Deuce Vaughn out there for 4 carries. Dallas was just trying to get anything to work running wise. Like, nothing's really working. Cook on their practice squad might legitimately have a chance to get called up to this team just based on how their running backs are. They're no one is doing anything.
Yeah, I'd still hang on to Zeke and Rico if I have them.
I would stash them.
That time's almost coming to an end. Like, after next week, but Baltimore's good against the run. Like, they so we'll see. But CeeDee Lamb, big game, 4 for 90, a touchdown.
Great game.
Jalen Tolbert came out. He looked to be like the next man up in the offense. 6 catches for 82. Brandon Cooks was a dud. We were wrong about him.
Yeah,
2 for 19.
Bad game. Crazy game. Negative rushing yards.
Yep.
Crazy.
Luke Schoonmaker, he stepped in for Jake Ferguson. He went 6 for 43, so a nice game for Shoemaker. He might be worth a stream if you have Jake Ferguson. You tried finding whether it be Colby Parkinson or Dallas Goedert, or tried to plug a piece in there. It didn't work. You might just want to go with the Cowboys guy. Dak loves tight ends.
Exactly. So like 6 catches, 6 targets. That's just easy PPR points. And that's what you want out of a tight end. Like, tight ends aren't going to get many catches. I'll take 6 any day from a tight end.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, Dallas, though, they looked struggling hard in the run game. I did not believe New Orleans offense would come out this hot versus Dallas's defense.
No.
Crazy.
Not one bit.
Very, very weird game.
So, next game, Tampa Bay and Detroit. We were excited for it, and it ended up being a 20-16 game. Tampa.
That's both the Lions games.
Yeah.
They did it week 1 versus Miami.
2-0. Jared Goff, 34 for 55. 307.
55 completions, no tutties. How was that possible? Or
2 interceptions.
35 attempts.
Yeah. 55 attempts, 34 completions, 300 yards,
no
2
tutties?
interceptions.
That's crazy.
No touchdowns. The running backs, again, if you have a Lions running back, Jahmyr Gibbs, 13 for 84. He caught 7 balls for 22. David Montgomery, another touchdown, saved his day, 35 for 1. And then he had 4 catches for 35. He was involved in the passing game this week.
I'm very happy to see he got 4 targets, and he brought in all 4.
Speaking of targets, I'm on Ross St. Brown. Hello. 19 targets.
Yes, sir.
Caught 11 for 119. J-Mo involved.
He back, baby.
5 catches on 11 targets, 79 yards. He had a big deep shot hit a carry for 15. Sam Laporta had a dud game, 2 for 13. Now it makes you worry. Like, has Sam Laporta now been phased to the third option in this offense behind Jameson Williams, or are we going to have games where Williams and Laporta just kind of switch roles, where then they become like too risky to be like relied on as like an easy start?
No, I think Williams is a start regardless at this point. Week 1 was amazing. Week 2, he had 11 targets. Like, even with Amon-Ra's 19 targets, J-Mo still got 11. They're working him hard into this offense. He was drafted to be this guy. That dog needs to shut up.
So you're worried about Laporta then?
Oh, yeah. Like, I've always been high on J-Mo, even like when he came out of Bama. He's this dude, and I'm so happy week 1 wasn't just a dud, dude. Like, he looked really good week 2.
Yeah. And then Tampa, Baker, 12 for 19, 185, 1 touchdown, an interception. He had a rushing touchdown. He also had an amazing run where he juked a Lions guy out of his shoes. Like,
great run.
Brother looking like Mike Vick out there.
Good run, for sure.
Yep. Rashad
that
White,
rushing touchdown was his longest rushing touchdown of his career. And he made a comment. He's like, "Oh man, that's really sad."
Rashad White got banged up, and he had an inefficient game across the board.
For sure.
10 for 18, and only had 1 target for 5 yards. Bucky Irving didn't do much to step in. 7
I was going
to
say he wasn't very efficient like week 1. Yep. So,
but the Christopher. Rod. The Rod God. His real name is Rod. It's Rod Christopher. The Rod God. I don't know why it doesn't go by that. What a great nickname. Rod God.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want to go by Rod Godwin. That's crazy.
Oh, yeah, that Rodwin Godwin, baby.
No, bad. But hey, what a crazy game.
Chris Godwin out of the slot is a dog. 7 catches, 117 for a touchdown. He even had a big play. He had a 40-plus yard catch, which isn't in his repertoire usually.
Yeah.
Mike Evans didn't do much. 3 for 42. Like, this was the Chris Godwin show. And man, if you bought into Chris Godwin, I was more out on, like, I like Chris Godwin, but I was worried that, like, he's just not the guy in this offense. But him in the slot, like, the Bucs,
him in the slot is dangerous.
He is wide receiver 1 on the season right now.
Yeah. I would say he's almost safer than Mike Evans. Mike Evans is obviously amazing. But like PPR wise, Godwin's gonna force short catches where if Evans doesn't get in the end zone, he's not gonna have a great game. Like week 1, he had 2 tutties, and that's what you love to see. But 3 for 42 is a realistic floor for Mike Evans, where Godwin's floor is probably 5 or 6 catches.
Yeah.
So that's cheap points.
Yeah. Jalen McMillan involved, but didn't really get any production otherwise. So, but still somebody I would keep an eye on. Yeah. Like that he's going to get more comfortable in this offense.
Tight ends, duds.
Yeah. Kate Otten and Sam Laporta. Kate Otten, you probably don't starting him anyway.
But yeah,
negative
he finished
points.
with negative points, so that's crazy, dude.
But Sam Laporta definitely is concerning, especially if Jameson Williams has taken over as the second option. And then you also have to worry about Jahmyr Gibbs too.
Yeah, you have both running backs and you have both receivers. It's kind of concerning for Sam Laporta.
Yeah. Next up, the Green Bay Packers. Malik Willis.
Crazy.
They defeated the Indianapolis
How many times
Colts.
you throw the ball? He went 12 for 14. That's a crazy 14. Completion percentage.
Yeah. For 122 and
14
6 carries for 41. Yeah, Malik Willis, Matt LaFleur. I credit this more to Matt LaFleur than Malik
100%.
Willis. Matt LaFleur did an incredible job of scheming this offense to benefit Malik Willis.
Yeah, like he didn't have to do anything. Just hand the ball off to Josh Jacobs, and thank God Josh Jacobs showed up. Like 32 carries. Put the team on your back,
32 for 151. He had a fumble.
Yeah.
Marshawn Lloyd made his debut 6 for 15. He had a catch.
That dude hit the IR today.
Oh, did he? I did not hear that. Okay.
Yeah.
Marshawn Lloyd's hurt. Go figure. Yep. That guy can't stay healthy.
I'm pretty sure he hit the IR. Let me look it up.
Yeah. And from Indy, Anthony Richardson, bad game, 3 interceptions. The Packers defense did a great job shutting him down. He only had 37 rushing yards. Jonathan Taylor had a nice game, 12 for 103 and 2 catches for 32. And then for whatever reason, they had Trey Sermon in a bunch at the end of the game. And I question what Shane Steichen was doing there.
He came out and said that they weren't targeting running back, so they didn't have a point to have Taylor on the field on the last couple of drives because
target James, just have him out there. Well, are you trying to say that a dump off to Trey Sermon's better than a dump off to Johnny Taylor? What an insane thing to say. Alec Pierce did it again.
Yeah,
5 catches, 58 yards, and a touchdown. Michael Pittman, another 7-target game, but 3 for 21. Like, you got to be worried if you're a Mike Pittman owner because he's just getting ugly, useless targets. Yeah, and he's not a touchdown guy.
Yeah, the way that they use Pittman, it's just not going to be effective fantasy wise. It's not going to happen, and even real life wise, he's just another one of these receivers on this team now. Like, none of these guys are steps above. Like, the seasons before, Pittman was the dude. Now there's so many guys in this receiving room. It's just everybody's there.
Josh Downs should be back next week.
Theoretically, yeah. Like, A.D. Mitchell still had 4 targets. He only brought one of them in, but all of these guys are getting targets.
Yeah. Speaking of just guys in rooms, Christian Watson, 0 targets.
That guy's a bum.
And then Dontavian Wicks, 4 targets, 3 for 26 and a touchdown. Romeo Doubs, 3 for 62. Jaden Reed started off hot, 2 for 37 on the ground. Then he caught 2 catches for 9, but he was coming in banged up, so I imagine they kind of eased his workload, especially, and then they just need to do it. Luke Musgraves finally scored a point this year. Congratulations. Surprise. 1 for 6, but he was outscored again by Tucker Kraft.
Tucker Kraft was on the field for 80% of the snaps.
Yeah.
Musgrave was 44. Like, it's Tucker Kraft's the tight end 1 on this team, and I could not be more thrilled.
Yeah.
I'm very happy to see Wicks score with garbage quarterback play. Like, it's a
led the team in targets. Makeup.
Yeah, like he's just as good as all the other receivers on this team. He just happens to be the 4.
Yeah. Deep room.
So it's a great room for sure.
Deep room, but and I'm still
not starting any of them.
I would start Jaden Reed. I think a healthy Jaden Reed, they're going to manufacture touches. He had 2 carries.
I get it, but I mean, with Lloyd hitting the IR, Wilson's still now the backup, but he's not efficient. And if Josh Jacobs, he's not going to do this every week. Like, 32 carries, I get he's a workhorse back. He's that kind of running back. But 32 carries for 151, dude, that's really efficient. That's a great game. It's not going to happen every week. So I guess I would start Reed. I would start Reed in the flex. Not as a receiver, though. Would not start him. I would probably have him like 30 range off the top of my head, like mid-30s for receivers.
Which is where he went draft-wise, usually, was the 30s.
Yeah, a little bit.
Cleveland, Jacksonville.
Did we skip over Anthony Richardson? You trying to skip over that?
I talked about him while you were looking up Marshawn.
Oh, you're not giving me any time to talk about Anthony Richardson. I see what you did here.
I figured you just were skipping over him. He had a bad game.
You did here. He had an outlandishly bad game, and I think it's suiting to the kind of quarterback that he is. He still completed 50% of his passes, which is a terrible, terrible completion percentage. Like, a QB1 has never finished as a QB1 with 50% completion rate. It's just not going to happen. But the 3 picks, dude, like, they were bad. Like, he had really, really bad decision placement. He's got to start doing, like, I don't know, dude. He looked really bad. He's really inconsistent. Like, he's still an amazing athlete, but when it comes to, like, actual QB play, it's kind of scary.
Yeah. I think Matt LaFleur did a wonderful job scheming in Malik Willis and scheming his team to stop Anthony Richardson.
I agree, but Richardson looked really bad. These games are going to be way throughout the season. It's going to happen. Like, he's not going to go way above 50% completion. Like, we might see a game here and there where it's like high 60s. He'll be very lucky to hit 70%. But the 3 picks were really, really scary. And I think he had 2 fumbles. I think he had 5 turnovers, dude.
I didn't see any fumbles listed, so I don't think he lost. No, he had no fumbles lost.
Okay, but I'm pretty sure he fumbled twice.
Yeah, if you take away the big play from the Colts, it seems like this offense can't move the ball.
I agree. Like, their offense it's not looking good if Richardson comes out here and shits the bed, which is crazy. Like, use Jonathan Taylor, dude. Like, Jonathan Taylor is an elite running back. Get this dude involved. You paid him a ton of money.
he had 100 yards, but get him involved in the
use
passing
him
game.
more. Yeah, like use this guy. Like I get you have all these receivers. Jonathan Taylor, I trust way more, especially in the end of the game. You get this guy on the field.
Yeah. Cleveland, Jacksonville. Cleveland won 18-13.
Worst game.
Deshaun Watson, the game was disgusting. Deshaun Watson, 22 for 34, 186, 5 for 20. He had a rushing touchdown.
Saved him.
They trust this guy so much. They had Jameis Winston out here doing tush pushes.
Dude, I seen him in the game once, and I went to him like, dude, Winston's on the field, and I was so happy. And then he was in for a tush push because they don't trust Watson with a ball in his hand.
2 carries for 4 yards for Jameis Winston. Yeah, Watson, he's got the shoulder thing. They ain't fucking putting him in that situation. But
he's a fragile boy.
Jerome Ford, your start of the week, was efficient, but they didn't really utilize
targets,
7 carries for 64 yards, almost averaging 10.
Super
10
efficient.
carry, 1 catch for 0. And Deonta Foreman out here with 14 carries for 42 yards.
I don't understand why he had double the amount of carries that Ford had, and he had 20 less yards. Why are we giving this guy the ball so much? And he also had the same amount of catches.
If this is going
Ford
to be
had 7 catches week 1.
Yeah. If this is going to be a true split situation,
I'm out on both.
Having Jerome Ford, where you thought you got him as a value, he becomes almost useless. And it's a shame because Jerome Ford has way more juice than Deonta Foreman. I like Deonta Foreman.
And you see it.
But Jerome Ford looked like that dude week 1, and then they come out 7 for 64 is incredibly efficient on the ground. I don't understand the utilization there from Cleveland.
Hey, I don't get it at all. It's very frustrating. Week 2 was very frustrating for a lot of fantasy stuff.
Yeah, Amari Cooper. 3 catches for 11 yards. Led the team in targets with 8. Well, tied with Elijah Moore, the worst football player on the planet.
It's insane.
He got 6 grabs for 44 yards. And
8
then Jerry
targets
Jeudy,
for more.
5 for 73.
Yeah. Cleveland's offense is everything's super questionable. And the real advantage of Jerome Ford is that he was the guy. He was the workhorse guy. So regardless of his production, he's going to get a lot of fantasy points. And now fucking Foreman had double the carries. He had 14 carries to Ford's 7. It's all aggravating. And then Cooper only has 3 catches, 11 yards, while Jerry Jeudy has 73 yards. Elijah Moore is 44. Fucking David Bell had fucking...
Elijah Moore's are all just little short dinks that Deshaun Watson can throw properly.
It's all just very aggravating. Tillman needs to be more involved.
Yeah.
It's all just... the offense is bad, dude. Get Njoku out of there. Get Cooper out of there.
Yep. Speaking of bad
save these guys' careers.
Jacksonville's offense is a mess.
Bad. Yeah.
They're 0-7 in their last 7 games.
Mm-hmm.
Trevor Lawrence ain't looking great. He in his press conference, he's like, "We suck."
Yeah.
I don't know why they're not trying to move the ball downfield more. Brian Thomas had 4 targets. He went 2 for 94. He had this huge deep catch.
Mm-hmm.
Utilize this man at what he does at an elite level, which is stretch the field.
Yeah. He's a field stretcher.
Gabe Davis had 7 targets, and they've been working him in the middle, which is great. Gabe Davis can do a catch and run thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad they're utilizing Gabe Davis just not as a deep threat.
You
and
paid
then
him.
Christian Kirk is almost uninvolved at this point.
Christian Kirk is unmanageable. Cut the dude. He's the bust. Somehow he had a worse week than last week.
And 1 catch for -1 yards.
That's crazy. What kind of game is that? That's... Oh my god, dude! I don't even know what's going on in Jacksonville. Tank Bigsby got hurt.
Yep, and Ernest Johnson got 5 carries. They do want to run a split committee here. Travis Etienne was only 13 for 52 and a touchdown. 3 for 6 through the air. Doug Peterson might lose his job.
I think this is his last year in Jacksonville. I really do.
I think this might be his last year as a head coach.
I don't see any wrong statement with that.
Just latch back on with Andy Reid. Trevor
Lawrence really, I don't know, dude. He just hasn't been the guy. He's fine. But show me something, dude. CJ Stroud showed it his rookie year. Trevor Lawrence hasn't really done that.
Second year. The first year under Doug Peterson. He looked fine. Great. He led them to the playoffs.
Yeah.
And then last year he did nothing, and now this year it looks like that. Maybe honest, it was just a 1-year fluke, but Doug Peterson teams don't get better.
they choked hard in that playoff game. Like
They did.
The Chargers came back. I don't know what if like broke him, but that team has not been the same since then. It just has not.
No, the Jaguars came back. The Chargers choked.
Oh, was it the other way around?
Yeah. Herbert's never won a playoff game.
Then who the hell did they play week 2? Because I don't know, dude. The Jags have looked horrendous the last couple seasons offensive wise. And that's with an offensive based coach. Like you have a coach that runs theoretically on paper elite offenses, and it's just not clicking in Jacksonville, like at all.
Yeah. Evan Ingram did miss the game. We should bring that up.
Made a glass.
They played the Chiefs the second week, and Trevor Lawrence was 24 for 39.
Oh my God. You said 2, and I'm like, well, that's what happened.
24 for 39, 217, 1 touchdown, 1 interception.
Dude, I didn't realize how much Evan Ingram stakes I had until I got the notification that he was ruled out with a hamstring. I have him in I'm in like 11 leagues, and I think I have him in like 6 or 7. Like, yeah. It was outlandish. I had to scramble in a couple to get tight ends. There was a league I couldn't pick up a tight end, which was crazy because of the way waivers went. So I had to roll tight endless. So, here we are.
Losing a guy right before the game is rough. But it sounds like he's going to be fine. I haven't heard anything.
Shout out to Philly, though, for doing that with A.J. Brown, getting him out early. That was big. I appreciate that, Philly.
Yeah. Next up, maybe the biggest upset of the week.
Crazy.
The Minnesota Vikings.
So good.
Beat San Francisco 23-17.
Yeah.
Kevin O'Connell coached a masterpiece. And so did Brian Flores. Shout out Brian Flores. Like, he's got this defense, and he was rocking Brock Purdy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, constantly. He got hit a bunch. We sacked him like 6 times. Minnesota's defense is legitimate, and it's going to be a factor in this team contending. Like, I don't want to disrespect Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold is playing great football. I don't know if that withstands and holds, but the Minnesota defense is going to keep them in football games.
I think it does keep going. Kevin O'Connell is early favorite coach of the year. Like, you have Sam Darnold out here looking like a real QB.
Not if the Saints keep scoring 40 points.
Fuck Dennis Allen and the Saints. That guy's still going to be fired by week 5. That's a hot take. That prediction was wrong. Somehow that guy's going to keep his job. But Kevin O'Connell, dude, Sam Darnold is legit. He walked in here in San Fran, and it was in Minnesota?
It was in Minnesota, home opener.
Yeah, okay, but you played San Fran, who has one of the toughest defense, if not the toughest defense in football, and he looked great, dude. Like, 217 for 26. He had an interception, big deal. You play in the elite defense, you're going to do that. You're going to make a mistake. He
threw the interception, and in pass, Sam Darnold, when you rattle him and you shake him up and throw picks, he comes out and he doesn't capitalize. He falls apart.
Yeah.
Did not unravel. Ice in his veins on Sunday.
Did not affect him.
And his final drive to put Minnesota up, no Justin Jefferson. Jordan Addison didn't play. TJ Hawkinson's not there. Aaron Jones left a bit on that drive. None of it phased Sam Darnold. Jalen Naylor was the wide receiver 1 in that final drive. Tristan Jackson.
Justin Jefferson played half a game, right? He missed the back end of the game.
Yeah, he got hurt in the third.
Yeah, so like Sam Darnold did this without his top 3 targets. Like, no Jefferson, no Addison, no Hawkinson. And he's still killing it, dude. Like, I don't know, dude. It was crazy. San Fran's got to figure some shit out. That was embarrassing.
I wouldn't be surprised if Minnesota brings Darnold back on a 1-year deal next year.
I agree, just in
Continue
case
to
if he's not ready.
J.J. McCarthy into this. Like, J.J.
100%.
McCarthy probably could have played this year. Like, that's come out, but make it as easy as possible for him. Like, he looked good in preseason. Kevin O'Connell, I trust this guy with any quarterback at this point.
Yep.
But Sam Darnold so far has earned a contract starting somewhere next year if he plays at this level. We'll see. It might be an overreaction because we're only 2 games in. But he looked great. Aaron Jones, not as good as week 1. He was 9 for 32, but he was involved in the passing game. 5 for 36. He did fumble. Ty Chandler, 10 carries for 82 yards. He's got the juice. Ty Chandler, Jefferson had a 97-yard catch. He was 4 for 133 and 1.
That touchdown was crazy, dude.
Jalen Naylor, another touchdown, 3 for 54.
Mm-hmm.
And San Fran, Jordan Mason, this dude is a stud. 20 for 101, 1 for 4. Christian McCaffrey went on IR.
Scary.
So he's going to miss at least the next 4 games. And if Jordan Mason keeps producing, San Fran's in a Super Bowl window. It wouldn't surprise me if they just ease Christian McCaffrey back into things.
I think Mason. So like we have 4 weeks guaranteed. The next 4 weeks, they're not going to give McCaffrey the load when he comes back. So I think at the minimum you're looking at 5 elite weeks with Mason, and then maybe 2 on the back end where he's eased out. But that's 7 more weeks with the 2 games you already played. That's 9 games. That's most of the fantasy season, dude. So if you're able to get Mason off the fucking waivers, you got San Fran's running back for most of the year. Fantasy wise, congratulations. McCaffrey though, dude, this is what you get with McCaffrey. Like he misses time here and there, and when he does, he misses a lot of time. So when he comes back, he's going to be amazing. Like there's no question about it.
Speaking of missing time, Deebo Samuel is out, and he had 10 targets on Sunday.
Crazy.
8 for 110. 2 carries for negative 10 yards. Minnesota stopped him on the ground, but they couldn't stop him through the air. Deebo's a man, and that's another big loss. Ayuk was only 4 for 43. Like, is this training camp rust? Like, what's going on with him?
I'm not worried.
George Kittle got banged up, but he was tight end 1 on the week. 7 catches for 76 yards and a touchdown. You know, if you got George Kittle, he's going to be more involved with Deebo out. He's going to get those short dump-offs that Deebo would take. I would keep an eye on Juwan Jennings. He's going to get more involved. Maybe your boy Chris Conley gets some work now.
I think Jennings is worth having. Week 1, he had 5 for 64. This week, he was 2 for 37. Not as involved, but with Deebo going out, he's going to be involved. Like, he's their receiver too. And I think this is huge for Ayuk. Like, you had a really slow start week 1 and 2. This is your time, dude. Brother. You just got paid. Deebo's down. Show us why we paid you. Be the number 1 receiver we think you are.
Yeah. Are you worried about San Fran at all? Brock Purdy was fine. 319 yards, a touchdown, interception. He did fumble.
I'm not worried, but I did think San Fran was going to take a step back a little bit this year, and I think it showed a little bit this game. I think they're very beatable. And I think like a well-coached team like you guys are very well-coached. I don't think nothing against San Fran. They're obviously amazingly coached. But there's just holes now. Like you guys were able to go there and you picked apart their defense with Sam Darnold and no weapons. Exactly, yeah. So like they're not obviously in the position the Rams are in. No one is. The Rams are on fucking save us. The Rams are bad. The Rams are looking like Matt Stafford's gonna be lucky if he lives the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
So San Fran will be fine, but they're beatable. It's good to see.
Seattle defeated New England 23-20 in overtime.
Close. I almost had that New England called win, dude.
I almost quit the podcast.
Close. Dude, New England was they're fighting hard.
They're
playing
defense,
good football, dude.
Well-coached team. Like Jacoby Brissett ain't lighting up the world. 15 for 27 for 149 and 1.
He's not making mistakes though.
Ramondre, another 20 carry game, 20 for 81, another touchdown. Antonio Gibson was heavily involved today on Sunday too, 11 for 96.
96 is crazy. That's a good amount of yards, dude.
He had a 50-yard run.
No, I get it, but still, like that's almost a 100-yard rushing game, dude.
Yep, we saw Jalen Polk first career touchdown, 2 for 12 for a touchdown. KJ Osborne 1 for 7. Like Jared Mayo came out and he was just like, "We got to find a way to stretch the field."
You got to get some of these receivers involved, dude.
Drake May has a cannon. You got to stretch the field. Put in your rookie quarterback.
You can't with that line.
I know.
You can't. Like, there's not enough time for him to drop back and pass.
Eventually, they're going to have to because they can't be going 15 for 27 for 149.
I get it, but as long as their rushing game, they almost had 200-yard rushers. Obviously, Gibson's not going to do that every week. But if they're going to get more involved out of Gibson, keep playing safe ball. Protect Drake May. Like, this line's bad. Look what happening. Look at Caleb Williams. Like, look what's happening in Chicago. Do not do that to Drake May.
Yeah, but he can't be out here saying he wants to stretch the field with Jacoby Brissett then.
Well, yeah, but it's also not going to happen with the receiving crew you have.
Just play Joe Milton then if you want to stretch the field. That's all that guy does.
The receiving crew is bad. Like, there's no field stretcher. Like, Jalen Polk's a really good receiver, but he's not Malik Neighbors. He's not Marv. He's not, and that's why he wasn't drafted to be that guy. like he's still good, but he's not going to go out there and stretch the field. Like there's no receiver to blow the top off the defense.
Javon Baker's there, brother.
Hey man, you don't have to talk to me about Javon Baker, but I don't think he's that guy yet.
Seattle, Zach Charbonnet, or as we're going to just start calling him, West Coast Rachaad White over here. 14 for 38.
Yeah.
5 catches for 31 yards and a touchdown.
He had a tutty.
He made up for it. But the receiving game in Seattle, Geno Smith was cooking on Sunday. 33 for 44, 327. He had a touchdown. DK Metcalf, 14 targets, dude. 10 for 129 and 1. Jackson Smith and Jigba, 16 targets. He caught 12 for 117. Like, finally has that breakout game and moment. Tyler Lockett, 2 for 15. Like,
yeah, that's weird.
I think there's going to be weeks like it's figured. Is it going to be a JSN week? Is it going to be a Lockett week? I think DK is really the only safe receiver on this roster.
I see that, but I didn't expect that Lockett's targets would go down that much. But
no, he got the JSN targets too.
The 16 targets for JSN is crazy, dude. Like that's something to watch, dude. Like if he's going to be this involved, whew, that's a good game, dude. Like 12 catches, come on, dude. Like that's a lock in PPR.
Yeah. Speaking of PPR, Hunter Henry, 8 for 109 on 12 targets. He was the guy there. He seems to be the favorite option for noodle arm Jacoby Brissett.
Hey, if you need a tight end, I think he finished tight end 2 on the week, I believe. He did tight end 2. He played 84% of snaps. Start him. He's a start. He's almost a start tight end. Tight ends have been bad this year. Hunter Henry did this last year. He's a startable tight end, dude, and that's a crazy world that we're living in. Especially
when there's no real elite receiver who's demanding the ball there.
Exactly, yeah. But he did this in L.A. or well, I guess it was San Diego at the time. He showed flashes that he could be the dude in a receiving option, and he's done it in New England last year. He had really good breakout games. He's just inconsistent. But these last 2 games, he's been. Well, no, this last week. Yeah. He had 4 points week 1. But
he just missed a touchdown week 1, though.
Yeah, for sure. He's their option in the red zone if they're passing. Like, it's Ramondre, backfield wise, but then if they're passing, it's Hunter Henry. First look.
Yeah. Henry and Ramondre are really the only 2 guys to own in New England.
100%.
Though I would stash Jalen Polk.
I would keep an eye on Jalen Polk, for sure. But the 2 catches, right? If he had 1 catch, 2 catches. 2 catches for 3 targets, 12 yards. That's not good.
No. But Tennessee and the Jets. Tennessee 24-17. They lose. Aaron Rodgers getting his first win as a Jet. How long until Brian Callahan fist fights Will Levis?
Week 4. Week 4 paid pay-per-view, and I'll be buying it, baby.
I think Will Levis would smoke him. But
he'd fumble it. He'd fumble the bag, dude. He'd fumble it. He'd fuck it up.
19 for 28, 192, a touchdown interception. He also lost a fumble.
Yeah, 6 turnovers.
The play, dude, 6 turnovers on a year?
Maybe. I don't know. He's bad, dude.
But on the play where he fumbled, the camera cut to Brian Callahan. His arms were extended. He's just like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
And, I mean, he said it week 1, too. Like, we could have punted on 1st and 10, and we would have won the game.
He's playing Will Levis football. That's what you're going to get. He's very easily, like, if you blitz him, you're going to get the ball. He can't read a defense.
He had an amazing deep throw to Calvin Ridley. It was one of the best catch and throws I've ever seen.
The dude has an amazing arm. He's a really good quarterback. He just can't read blitzes, so he's super prone to turnovers, and it's just not going to work out, unfortunately. But he throws a hell of a ball, dude. He's going to be a really good backup.
He is white Jameis Winston.
Yeah, he's going to be a really good backup quarterback. Yeah.
Calvin Ridley, though, what a game. 1 carry for 10 yards. He had a rushing touchdown.
Yeah.
4 catches for 77 yards and another touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
That's
his touchdown was crazy.
Yeah.
Yep.
DeAndre Hopkins, again, not involved. 1 catch for 9 yards.
Concerning.
Tyler Boyd, 2 for 28. Like, the rest of the passing game.
Ridley's the only one worth. Yeah.
Like, is DeAndre Hopkins washed? I don't know. Like, receivers, they just kind of fall off. We never know.
I wouldn't say that he is, but I need to see him with another quarterback. Obviously, he's not quarterback proof like he was, but he's got Calvin Ridley. He's not the number one.
But is Mason Rudolph
No. I'm saying not here. It's not going to happen in Tennessee. Tennessee's a bust.
If I have DeAndre Hopkins, I'm dropping him.
100%.
He's not worth a roster spot.
I agree.
Tony Pollard, another nice game. 17 for 62, 5 catches for 40. He's the guy.
He's such a good pick. Like, you got him late. People got him like the 8th. He's clearly the guy. Spears got hurt, so he's going to get more involved. Tony Pollard's already the guy with Spears going down. If he ends up missing times, I don't know. If he ends up missing time, Tony Pollard's a lock, dude.
Like, he still got work. He was 6 for 22 catches for 11.
He's going to get work. But
he is the clear number 2 back in this offense.
Yeah, well, you can also like see the difference in talent. Like, Tony Pollard looks like a real running back.
He's looking healthy.
Yeah, he looks good. Where Spears he's a change of pace back. They're just different levels of talent.
Yeah. The Jets, Aaron Rodgers, he was fine. 18 for 30, 176, 2 touchdowns. Aaron Rodgers he's not a fantasy relevant guy anymore. He's just a decent football quarterback. He's
a pocket passer. He's not going to run at all. He's 2 touchdowns though is nice. Like, if you can get a bunch of touchdowns out of him, but calling touchdowns for a streaming quarterback is kind of rough.
Yeah, and it was just Garrett Wilson, 4 catches for 57.
That's not even a good game.
4 targets, 2 for 11. Mike Williams was 1 for 19. Malachi Corley 1 for 4. Tyler Conklin 1 for 10. But the 2 running backs in New York, Breece Hall 7 catches for 52 and a touchdown, 14 on the ground for 62. And then Braylon Allen, the youngster, 7 for 33 and a touchdown. And then he had 2 catches for 23 yards and a touchdown. Would have never expected Braylon Allen to be involved in the passing game because that's not his shtick.
I didn't expect him to be this involved at all, to be honest.
Yeah.
And it's very surprising. He's the youngest player in like 100 years to score a touchdown in the NFL. He's 20 years old. He'll be 21. I'm worried about Garrett Wilson, dude. Like, he was a first-round pick in fantasy drafts. He had 12 points week 1, 10 points week 2. That's a little concerning, dude. Like, if this is what we're getting from Rodgers, Garrett Wilson's looking like it's not going to pan out. Let's draft him.
Yeah. And I don't think it's a Garrett Wilson problem.
I agree. Yeah. It's the offense.
Yeah. Nathaniel Hackett's bum. He's only there because of Aaron Rodgers.
Like, all though, baby. Woo.
Yeah.
Dog.
Get Garrett Wilson some real coaches and a young, flashy quarterback.
Just get him an offense that knows how to move the ball, dude. Get him out of New York. I'll take him. Give him.
Well, that's still in New York, brother.
Yeah, but it's the better side. Gets him with Malik.
Speaking of you guys,
Malik, 18 baby.
to 21, lose to the field goal kicking Washington Commanders. 7 field goals.
Yeah, first team in history to score 3 touchdowns in a game, and then to lose to a team that scored 0 touchdowns in regulation. It's 7 field goals.
Daniel Jones looked fine.
He looked fine. You can't win, though. Like, this is crazy, dude.
2 touchdowns. Well, I mean, your kicker got hurt. And that's why you guys didn't win.
Malik should have caught that ball on 4th down.
He should have.
That was a catch.
Beat up. I don't know if you saw the sideline.
No, he's heartbroken about it.
Dable went over to him, and he was just like, not right now.
Even in interviews, you could see how much he cares about this team. He literally feels like his whole game was pointless. It doesn't matter that he went 10 for 127 and a tutty. He dropped the one that mattered. If he would have caught it, we would have won. Like, it's that simple. But it happens. He looked great.
It was the coming out party for Malik Neighbors.
He showed that you can run an offense through him. Like, our offense can be ran through Malik Neighbors, and we will be fine.
Yeah. And Wandale didn't get the target low, but he did score 2 for 18 and a touchdown. He's worth rostering right now.
100%.
Because he is the second option. Darius Slayton, 3 for 33. No tight end work across the board from you guys. Even
As Washington. It shouldn't be.
Washington, Zach Ertz, 4 for 62. A nice looking. Jaden Daniels. That guy's good. Good at football.
So good, dude. He's an elite runner. He's going to grow into an elite passer. I'm not
23 for 29. Efficient.
He's very efficient. I'm not starting any of the receivers though.
This was a good real life football game. Fantasy wise, he did let you down, but he looked the part on the field.
I'm really concerned about the receivers.
Better than Caleb Williams.
Yeah, I think he has the speed to get out of the pressure. Like, Caleb Williams isn't. We'll get to the Bears game.
Doesn't want to run. Yeah,
we'll get there.
But we brought up
Jaden Daniels is an athlete, dude.
The Washington receiving crew is.
I'm not starting any of them. I personally traded McLaren in a lot of leagues.
McLaren had 8 targets, but inefficient targets, 6 for 22.
Yeah, 6 for 22, which is crazy, dude. Like
Noah Brown
PPR
was 3
league,
for 56. Zacchaeus was 3 for 14. Diami Brown 2 for 17. Like, these aren't good targets.
Zach Ertz, though, baby.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't mind not good targets at tight end as long as they're
exactly. Yeah,
but
if Zach Ertz is getting 4 for 60, that's a start. That's 10 points on the tight end.
The Washington running backs is what I said. Like Brian Robinson, my start of the week, 17 for 131 and a touchdown. Didn't provide much in the passing game, only 1 for 3. Austin Eckler looked decent again, 8 for 38, 3 catches for 47. Like, he's a viable flex guy at this rate. And then from your guys,
I would start both their running backs. Like,
yeah,
Robinson as a running back 1 or 2. The Eckler as a flex. I'm cool
starting in the flex. Yep. Devin Singletary had a nice game. He did fumble, but 16 for 95 and a touchdown.
Yeah, he's gonna get the workload if he's able to do this every game. Start him. He's the workhorse back, and no one else is getting carries.
He's got the juice, and he's looked as good as Saquon Barkley did in this offense.
Yeah, like we had legitimately one rush that wasn't to Singletary. It was to Tyron Tracy. He had 1 carry. But, I mean, he's not receiving Barkley, but rushing-wise, he's rushing the ball like Barkley. He had really nice cuts. He hits the hole really well. If I can get a little bit more in the passing game, dude, he's a lock. He's a lock.
Yeah. All right.
Neighbors, though, dude. Crazy game, dude.
Speaking of superstar rookie wide receivers, Marvin Harrison Jr.
Dude, for both of them to come out and have this guy breakout game like the same week, I love it.
Arizona stomped the Rams 41-10.
Yeah.
The Rams, another injury. Cooper Kupp now. He's going to miss time. On top of Puka Nacua, missing time. The offensive line's banged up.
4 of the 5.
The Rams, Kyron Williams was 12 for 25, but he had a touchdown, 4 catches for 27
saved
yards.
By a tutty.
But I imagine they were just trying to lighten him up because Blake Corum did get 8 touches.
Yeah, but Corum was the backup this game. It wasn't week 1, so I wonder what the switch happened, like why he became the backup.
Demarcus Robinson, he had a big play, at a 40-plus yard catch. He was 2 for 50. Tutu Atwell was involved. He was 3 for 48, though he played the least amount of snap percentages amongst the receivers. Jordan Whittington, 2 for 22. Tyler Johnson, 2 for 20. Cooper Kupp was 4 for 36. Arizona just shut this team down.
Yeah.
But if I'm out there, I'm putting in some money towards a Rams receiver just to possibly have, whether Tyler Johnson out there, Jordan Whittington, or Tutu. I would put him in Tyler Johnson, Jordan Whittington, Tutu last.
Like I doubt
Demarcus Robinson would be one. Demarcus Robinson would be one.
I doubt he's still out there, but he needs to be the one. Like he's always on the field. He's going to be the one.
Yeah. But
I don't know if they're going to be sustainable. Like the Rams' offensive line
is bad.
It's the worst in the NFL right now. Like Arizona got pressure all the time, and they got Will Anderson. Like he's the pass rush on that team, and I've never seen that kind of pass rush from Arizona. Like it was crazy, and I don't know who the fuck the Rams think are going to stop San Fran, Chicago, Green Bay, Las Vegas, Minnesota.
That's a good stretch of defense. I brought it up during when we previewed this game, dude. And I'm really worried about the Rams just from an injury standpoint and sustaining. Yeah. This might be a wash season. Like I picked them to finish third.
I agree. And
Arizona
that's really
and Seattle are playing good football. Kyler Murray, 17 for 21, 266, 3 touchdowns, 5 carries for 59 on the ground. He was QB1 this
week. Yeah, he played 2 quarters.
James Conner, 21 for 122 and a touchdown. Trey Benson had 11 carries, but 10 yards.
Yeah.
DeMarcado was 2 for 46, but Marvin Harrison, 4 catches for 130 and a touchdown. Dortch and Wilson weren't really involved, and Trey McBride was. That was
Trey
6 for
McBride
67. And he had a fumble recovery for a touchdown. What a weird little stat for him.
Hey, man, the tutty's a tutty, so fuck
their other tight end got a touchdown, 1 for 18.
Yeah, cheap points.
Yeah. But Arizona, this offense is dynamic, and look what happens when you throw the ball to Marvin Harrison.
Yeah, it's not his job to throw the Marv, dude, but it does help, though, when you do throw the ball to Marvin. He has 2 elite touchdowns. The one was crazy. Superman dive into the end zone.
Yeah, the superstar.
41-10, dude, is crazy, dude. The Rams' defense is banged up. It's looking bad. Their offense is banged up. It's looking bad.
This is this might be a wash season for the Rams. I brought up maybe seeing if Bryce Young's available, but they might also be looking for a quarterback in the draft, whether it be Carson Beck, Shadur Sanders, Quinn Ewers,
That is true.
Cam Ward,
Looking good, baby.
Drew Aller. I know people like him. I haven't really dove into the Penn State quarterback tape, but from last year, wasn't a fan.
Yeah.
Speaking of not a fan, Pittsburgh and Denver, 13-6. Another snoozer of a game for the Steelers. My guy Justin Fields is 2-0, baby.
Yeah, was scoring so many points.
Miami,
so many points.
Miami should be calling Pittsburgh to get Russell Wilson.
Miami just needs to call someone to get a quarterback. Like, I don't know how they came into this season
I think Pittsburgh
thinking
would be
that
more willing to trade Russell Wilson than Justin Fields, though.
They just need to call about like anyone for a quarterback. Like, there's no way that you thought he was a viable backup, Skylar Tomlinson.
It blows my mind. Like, I mean, hey, Malik Willis wasn't a viable backup, and he won this week.
I just wouldn't trust. Like, there are people. I don't know. It's weird. There's not enough good quarterbacks in the world. There's just not enough people to play quarterback.
Nope. Justin Fields was fine, 13 for 20. He did get a touchdown this week, 117, 8 for 27 on the ground. Bo Nix is struggling. Like, anything over 5 yards, this guy can't. It's not working. And, Sean Payton tricked Minnesota into taking J.J. McCarthy. Okay, buddy. Did you see the Bo Nix quote at the press conference? Like, hey, Bo, can you walk us through that interception? He's
yes.
Like, yeah, I dropped back and I threw the ball to the wrong guy.
I threw the ball to the other team. As a New York Giants fan, I can recognize when you draft a quarterback that's not the guy. He is Danny Jones. He's going to have games where he looks really good versus really bad defenses. But when you get him out here on the field versus Pittsburgh's defense, it's not going to go that well. And it did not. 2 turnovers, interception-wise. He is what he is. Like, he played college ball for 7 years. You knew what Bo Nix was.
Backed up Cam Newton.
He's really good short passes. He can hit a ball medium, but when he's throwing that ball far, it's getting picked off. It's not going well so far.
Yeah. The running game, Javonte, 11 carries, far and away the leader on the team, 17 yards.
Yeah,
5 catches for 48 though. He PPR'd his way into a start. Sure. Jaleel McLaughlin had 3 carries, no targets.
I don't understand how you can use him so much week 1, and then week 2 there's like, hey, by the way, we're not going to use this guy.
And then, receiving wise, Josh Reynolds was 4 for 93, Lil Jordan Humphrey 4 for 50, Cortland Sutton 1 for 26, Marvin Mims 1 for 10. Let's get Marvin Mims on the field. You guys are bad. Let's see if you actually have a decent receiver. Marvin Mims was Sean Payton's first draft pick as the coach of the Broncos, and he traded up for this guy. But he doesn't just. Why aren't you using him?
I mean, Troy Franklin's going to never ever see the field the way they use these receivers.
He got 1 target on Sunday.
He did, which is very surprising. Josh Reynolds had 8 targets week 1. He had 5 week 2. He had a tutty week 2 with 93 yards, I think. Or no.
No, he just had a big play.
Yeah,
he
4
for 93.
Yeah, 93, which is crazy. But week 1, he had 8 targets. If you have to start any of these receivers, I guess it's Reynolds, but you need to use Cortland Sutton. He's by far the best receiver on this team. Yeah. Get that guy involved.
Jaylen Warren from Pittsburgh, did he put your fears aside? I know you were worried about his involvement. He had 9 carries for 42 yards, 2 for 19 through the air. Najee was 17 for 69. He's really becoming touchdown dependent because that's not a bad game, but
it's a fine game. He needs to get in the end zone now.
Yeah, because he doesn't have enough passing work. And Cordell Patterson was barely used, 2 for 3.
That's what I like to see for Warren. That Patterson wasn't used as much, and Warren was really used.
Receivers were used. Pickens was 4 targets, 2 for 29. Freiermuth 4 catches for 39. Darnell Washington got the touchdown, 1 for 5. I guess you're encouraged by Freiermuth getting 4 targets. Maybe he's a streaming option if you had Njoku or Ferguson or just struggling at tight end. But Pittsburgh's offense just does enough to win. They're not going to do enough for your fantasy team.
That's exactly what they're going to do all season, is just enough to win. We're going to use time of possession. We're going to really drown out this game, and we're going to win right at the end. Greg Dulcich, though, had 8 targets. If we want to talk about tight end targets, he only had 3 for 15 or 16, whatever the hell it was, but he had 8 targets. Yeah. They're looking his way. Denver's weird, dude. I wouldn't trust anyone on this team. I'm not starting.
I'll forcefully start Javonte Williams just because
if I
he
have
gets
to.
targets in PPR.
Yeah.
But Cincinnati and Kansas City. Cincinnati falls to 0-2, which is the norm for them under Zach Taylor. 26-25, really close game. Bengals played a lot better than they did week one. Joe Burrow looked good, 22 for 36, 258, 2 through the air. He moved around a bit, 6 carries for 9 yards. He did fumble. But a nice game from Burrow, good bounce back from week one.
Sure.
The running game, again, not there for Cincinnati. Zach Moss, 12 for 34. Chase Brown had some juice, 4 for 31 is good, but he's not a workhorse. Like, you don't want Chase Brown getting 12 carries. Yoshi Voss, 2 catches for 7 yards and 2 touchdowns. So, if you're riding that
crazy game.
Your boy Jermaine Burton, 1 catch for 47. He got in there. Jamar Chase, he's a hothead. He had a bad game, 4 for 35, and like
he's not getting used enough, dude.
Kansas City was in his head, and it was I don't know what's going on, but yeah, they got to start utilizing him. Hopefully, T. Higgins is back next week too. Like I think that would go a huge part. Like I like Yoshi Voss, but he's not T. Higgins.
No, I get he had 2 touchdowns, but he had 7 yards, dude. Like both his catches were really short touchdowns.
And that's how his catches were the year before. Like he's a red zone target. Like he's a big body.
He's really good at getting open in a small area. Like he's really good at that. But T. Higgins is just a different level, and you got to get Jamar Chase the ball, dude. 5 targets is not enough. You need to pepper this guy with targets. You need to get this guy the ball. He's your offense.
They were peppering the targets to the tight end position. Mike Gesicki, 9 targets, 7 for 91. Eric All had 4 targets for 32. Yeah. Like, great to see him on the field.
Keep it going.
Yeah.
Their third string tight end had 3 catches, 3 targets for 30 yards. That's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's 15, 16 targets between 3 tight ends.
Yep.
Stop it.
Whereas Kansas City was not targeting their tight ends. Travis Kelce, 3 targets, 1 for 5. He is...
he was on the field for 91% of the snaps, though.
He's not washed. He had a big 40-yard catch, got called back for holding.
They're just not using him right. Like, they're not running. It's weird.
Teams are shutting him down, and it is becoming the Rashee Rice show.
Oh, yeah.
5 for 75 and a touchdown. Xavier Worthy was 2 for 17. He had a carry for 5, but nobody else in that passing game did anything. And then there's the upsetting news of Isaiah Pacheco going down. He's looking like he's going to miss 6 to 8 weeks, which is a huge loss for Kansas City.
Yeah. That's heartbreaking.
He was 19 for 90, 5 for 21 through the air.
I think it's pretty big for Mahomes fantasy owners, though. He hasn't been a really good fantasy, like, elite option-wise. They're going to have to start chucking this ball way more than they have been. I also think it's huge for Kelce. Like, they're going to have to start getting Kelce way more involved, dude.
Yeah. Cincinnati did an incredible job of stopping Patrick Mahomes until the fourth quarter. He was 18 for 25, 151, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
Like, Cincinnati plays Mahomes well. But who do you think steps up for Pacheco? They brought in Kareem Hunt today for an interview.
They signed him. He's on the practice squad.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Yeah.
But Pirine, Carson Steele was getting a ton of work, 7 carries for 24, but he fumbled. Like
Steele's not efficient, and they also have Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah, so he's out till at least week 4, though.
Okay, so I think Steele's
2 more weeks without him.
I get they signed Hunt. I think it's going to take him at least 2 weeks to even get onto the active roster.
I don't think Hunt's going to play much of a part.
I think at some point he might, because I don't think Steele is going to be good. He's not efficient. He already fumbled. He's not the guy.
I was sure they were just going to bring Jerick McKinnon back.
I agree. That's the route I thought they were going.
But I guess they like Pirine better.
Pirine's going to get a ton of work catching-wise, I think. Like, he's going to be able to be started in the flex.
I think it's going to be a true committee. PPR I would go after both guys. I wouldn't put a ton of fab towards either of them.
No, I would not.
I would keep both on my bench and see where it goes
might benefit a little bit. I think Worthy and Kelce really benefit from this.
Yeah. And then Rashee Rice, superstar.
Again. Yeah, Rashad Rice is going to be good regardless. It's going to be heartbreaking when he gets suspended next season.
Yeah. But Sunday Night Football, Houston 19, Chicago 13. The Texans 2-0. Had a little injury scare. Joe Mixon had a little ankle injury. Did come back for a drive, and then he wasn't seen again.
Yeah.
C.J. Stroud, It's fine. Like, he's not blowing up the world, but he hasn't needed to yet. He was 23 for 36, 260 and 1. Huge test for him next week. He's playing an elite defense. The battle of the undefeateds. Houston Texans versus the Minnesota Vikings.
Gonna be a game.
Yeah, revenge game for Steph Diggs. We'll see if Joe Mixon's involved. 9 for 25 for him on the ground, 3 for 25 through the air. So a little bit of a step back from the week before. Nico Collins, superstar. 8 catches for 135 and 1.
If Mixon misses time, though, Cam Akers is the guy. Go get Cam Akers in case.
And Dameon Pierce should be back as well. So keep an eye on if he gets involved, though. But he is listed as the backup on the depth chart.
I get it. Cam Akers, got work. He had 7 carries last night or Sunday night for 32. Like, he's fine. Cam Akers is a fine backup running back.
Yeah.
He's more efficient than Pierce.
But yeah, Nico Collins, he's the guy in this offense. 8 catches,
Nico Collins
135, 1
probably going to finish as wide receiver 1.
He is a top 5 wide receiver in football.
He's going to be a fantasy receiver.
No, I'm saying like it's Chase, Jefferson, probably. CD, Tyreek. They're the top 4. Nico Collins is next in line.
Yeah, probably off the top of my head.
Steph Diggs.
I would probably Devontae Adams is still really good. We know how you feel about Devontae Adams.
I like Devontae Adams. I don't like
Adams.
Vegas. I like Devontae Adams.
That's not a Devontae Adams problem, though.
But I think Nico Collins would be doing what Devontae Adams did in Vegas.
Yeah.
But Diggs was 4 for 37, not great. Tank Dell, 3 for 16 on the ground, 1 catch for -3 yards.
Crazy.
Are you worried about Tank Dell? Are you worried? You red alert? I'm not. He's out there a ton.
I get it, but I'm worried about the offense wise. Like, I'm worried about him and Diggs both. There's just not enough for both to go around because fucking Nico Collins is too good.
He is so good.
Like, every time Stroud drops back, I'm like, okay, this one's gonna go to Tank Dell. No, it's just a middle of the route ran to Nico Collins for 40 yards, and I'm like, what the fuck? And he's so big, dude. He can't be tackled.
He's going to rip apart Byron.
It's dumb not to throw this guy the ball.
Or Stephen Gilmore.
Like, I get Tank Dell is always open because he's that kind of receiver. He's so shifty, he's hard, he gets separation. Nico Collins is always open because he's big. He's big, he's bulky, he's great hands. He's so much better than anyone that lines up against him.
Yeah, he's a machine.
Yeah.
Tight end where Dalton Schultz wasn't involved. Kate Stover got some time, but Schultz was banged up.
They're all bums.
Chicago's offense is a mess. Like,
Caleb Williams
is really going through it. 22 for 37, 174, 2 interceptions. The Chicago run game's weird. Like, Khalil Herbert had 2 carries for 3 yards, but he got a touchdown.
Yeah,
2
crazy.
catches for 4. He ended up outscoring DeAndre Swift, who went 14 for 18, and then 4 catches for 25.
That's a legitimate score to games. 14 to 18. That's not a stat line. That's like a QB completion percentage. You attempted 18 passes, you completed 14. That's Jaden Daniels' stat line. Yeah. You don't rush 14 times, have 18 yards.
Oh, Rachaad White does.
Yeah, really inefficient. Like,
DeAndre Swift is not. He's not living up to that deal.
It's their line because that's not even the running back Swift is. Swift is super efficient. Caleb Williams was pressured 36 out of the 48 times or some shit like that. He's going to die.
Yeah. This is a man a trooper through, though. He played.
Which is crazy. Dog.
But 5 targets, 2 for 33. DJ Moore, he looked frustrated out there. Like, he is.
As he should.
10 targets, he had 6 for 53. Not great. But, like, he was like, the Caleb Williams wasn't getting the ball to him. Like, he was missing them a bunch. Like, and it's showing, like, rookie quarterbacks, they go through the stretches no matter how great of a prospect they are. Like, Caleb Williams is going to go through the ringer this year.
With that offensive line, he doesn't have time to stand in the pocket. He doesn't have time to think, pass. The Bears, they're a defensive fundamental team. You need to switch it up. You need to get this guy a QB coach. I want to see all the steps taken properly coach-wise. I get you got this guy weapons. Get this guy coaches that know what to do with a quarterback.
Yeah, right now, Shane Waldron's not it.
No, you're throwing this kid to the wolves, dude. Like, this line isn't even an offensive line. As a Giants fan, it's not going to work. Like, I've seen what we did to Danny Jones. Even if I think he could be the guy, he never could be with that offensive line he's had for the last 5 years.
Bears need to go out and get a left tackle
100%.
In the draft.
If you don't have time to stand in the pocket for at least 3 seconds, it's never going to work. The decisions are always going to be wonky. He's going to lose trust in his O-line.
He's moving around and he's just not able to get the ball, and he's getting frantic. Sacks.
Yeah, he's getting really frantic.
He's looking like Justin Fields out there. Except he's not taking off.
Because he can't. He's not Justin Fields athletically. Yeah. He can't run like that. And that was the perk of Justin Fields. You had such a bad offensive line. He had to run. Caleb Williams can't really do that to that extent. He can run, but Chicago, you got to get this man a line, please, for the love of God.
Yeah, the overhyped Chicago Bears, it's not looking good so far. We'll see if it bounces back. Monday Night Football, prime time, Kirk Cousins, baby.
Crazy game.
The Falcons, what a drive. There were 50 seconds left, and Kirk Cousins picked apart the Eagles' defense. That was the worst display of defense I've maybe ever seen. Like, they weren't pressing the receivers. They were just playing back and giving Kirk Cousins 10 yards down the field to hit his weapons, and he was hitting them all.
Yeah, he got the ball back with 1:20 left with no timeouts left, and they were already at the 10-yard line with 50 seconds left. I've never seen a team move the ball from the 30 to the 10 in 2 plays. Like, I get a 2-minute offense is very easy to run. He got down there in 2 plays. It was literally a pass to Mooney and a pass to someone else, and they're already at the 10. Yeah. And then London got the touchdown.
London roped Darius Slay on that. What a dirty route. Like,
Slay's lost a couple steps.
Like, he's still in a blender.
He's still fundamentally sound, but his first 2 couple steps, they're not the same. Drake London really took advantage of that.
Yeah. Atlanta's offense looked much better. Kirk Cousins, they did some play action stuff. 20 for 29, 241, 2 touchdowns for Kirk. He looked great. Bijan had a nice game, 14 for 97, 4 catches for 25. Tyler Algieri's going to get his work, 9 for 53. Drake London, that touchdown really saved his game, 6 for 54. Darnell Mooney, 7 targets, 3 catches for 88 and a touchdown, big play. Ray McCloud wanted. Also getting involved. Like, Kirk Cousins be using it. He got 5 targets, 3 for 42. He also got some groundwork. And then your boy Kyle Pitts, 3 for 20.
Yeah, rough showing. But Mooney's game is what people wanted week 1 from Mooney. Kirk loves number 2 receivers. He really used them. 7 targets. Got the tutty. Kirk, though, looked so much better, dude.
He did.
This week then.
He did. Makes me happy because I was worried that he wasn't ready.
For sure.
Jalen Hurts, he was fine, but 23 for 30, 183, he had a touchdown. He had an ugly interception at the end of the game.
QB2 on the week, my guy.
13 carries for 85 and a touchdown on the ground is going to do that for you. But
he
had an ugly interception. Like,
the one that ended the game where he got hit?
Yeah, but it was a bad throw.
He got hit. He got pressured. Get the man a real center.
The Eagles get Cam Jurgens looked fine.
He's looking rough.
Nick Sirianni, though, that play at the end, before, where they could have sealed the deal. They could have ran the ball and just milked the clock, and Atlanta would have had 20 seconds.
They would have had the ball. 50. They could have taken 40 seconds off the clock.
Well, you got to count the field goal.
They still would have had 5. They still had close to 50
less than
seconds.
a minute 20. Instead, he throws the ball to Barkley, and Barkley drops it. He outcoached himself. Barkley had a nice game, though, 22 for 95.
Barkley had a great game.
4 catches through the air. Devonta Smith, killer game with no A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown looks like he's going to miss time now.
Yeah, a couple weeks.
7 for 76 and 1. And Britton Covey looked to be the second receiver, not Jahan Dotson.
Yeah.
Covey, 6 catches for 23 yards, but not worth it. Jahan Dotson might be worth a look, but only 1 carry.
1 target?
One catch for 3
Smith
yards.
is the only receiver I'm willing to start on this team. Brown's going to miss a couple weeks, though, and that's fucking heartbreaking. I lost him and Cooper Kupp in our main league. So it was a rough week for me. Smith, though, looked good. 7 catches, 70 yards, and a tutty. Hurts, QB2 on the week, is still perfectly fine for fantasy. And Barkley, though, is out here. RB1 week 1, RB9 week 2. 90% of snaps week 2, which is up from 80%. He's only on the field more now. Barkley's the dude. I love the fucking how they're using Barkley.
Yeah, which was my worry that like him and Jalen Hurts, they weren't going to be able to make it work. And Sirianni has done a good job with our Kellen Moore, whoever's handling that situation. Sirianni did throw Kellen Moore under the bus. I don't know if you saw that. They asked him about the play to Barkley at the end of the game, and he's just like, "Well, Kellen Moore's the one calling the plays."
Oh,
brother.
I don't hate the play. The play was perfectly executed. The ball hit Barkley. The ball was perfectly thrown. Barkley should have caught it, and if he would have caught it, the game would have been over. They would have won the game.
Yeah. Cam Jurgens is the 7th ranked center through PFF so far this season.
He's been sloppy. I've watched the games. I don't care what the PPFR is ranking. He's not getting that ball to Jalen Hurts. He's had a couple rough snaps for sure. The ball is not being snapped properly.
He's fine.
Blocking wise, sure.
He's a good athletic center. He did a great on one of the run play actions.
Yeah, one of the pull routes. Yeah,
great. He'll be fine. He'll adjust.
Yes, what I'm saying. He needs to. I get it's early, but you don't have time in the NFL, dude. You have 17 weeks. You need to be smooth 17 weeks out of the 52. Yeah. That's what you need to do.
Well, I don't think he's an issue for them.
I think the whole line's a little bit of an issue.
I think the defense is an issue.
The defense has always been an issue. That was a huge issue last year.
Yeah, and I think the line's fine.
Yeah, for per se. They're getting unnecessary pressures, for sure.
How much of that's also Mekhi Becton at guard? That's also a weird...
I mean, yeah, he's not good.
He's too big to be in a box like that.
Yeah, I don't know. But Philly, they'll figure something out.
Yeah, I had Philly missing the playoffs, but Dallas also not looking good either. And
I don't think they're going to miss the playoffs.
That division is just where Philly and Dallas can look bad and still capitalize and win that division because Washington and you guys aren't.
Washington's in first. Washington's 2-0, right?
No, they lost week 1. They're 1-1.
Did they lose week 1?
Everyone's 1-1 except you guys. You guys
I thought Jaden Daniels won week 1.
No, they lost to Tampa. Baker touchdown.
Oh, yeah, they did. That's right.
Let's wrap this up. Thursday Night Football. It's a doozy. The New England Patriots are at the New York Jets. Jets 6.5-point favorites. Over under of 38.5.
Gross.
Man, the Patriots could have been 3-0.
Yeah, for sure. This is going to be a tough game, though.
It's going to be ugly.
Division games are always tough.
You're going to start Garrett Wilson because he's Garrett Wilson. Breece Hall's a great start. That's it.
For sure.
That's it from the Jets. And just like the Patriots, it's Ramondre and Hunter Henry.
Yep.
Nobody else.
You could probably start both their defenses. I know we don't talk defenses, but both teams have really good defenses.
Both teams have decent kickers, too.
For sure.
But...
there's not much star value in here.
Yeah. I'm picking the Jets.
I'm also picking the Jets.
They're not covering them. 6.5. What a big line for a
New England plays really close. Seattle was only a 3-point loss. So I think they're gonna pull another 3-point loss.
Jets cover. I hope we see some Drake May on Thursday. I do.
I don't like your chances.
I do. I hope so. If Drake May plays somehow, Jacoby gets hurt or just looks bad and they bench him, Patriots win.
Oh, that's a bold claim, my guy.
Jets defense is bad right now. They're not playing great. They can't stop the run. Ramondre's a great start this week. He might be the start of the week.
Ramondre's a great start.
Yeah.
So is Breece Hall, though. Like, Breece Hall's both running backs are going to have crazy games. Both of them are probably going to get in the end zone, to be honest.
Yeah. Maybe starting next week, we'll do a little parlay thing. We'll do a Thursday night parlay.
This guy's making bets.
We'll each pick 2 legs. We'll do a 4-leg parlay and not hit on a single one of them because
I have to put a little gambling advisory. We have a gambling addiction. Please call 1-800-GAMBLER.
We're not betting. I'm not putting
unless you're in Connecticut
parlays
and a few other states.
Yeah. All right.
Whatever the fuck the thing is.
That's it. Wrapping up. Week 2 in the books. We'll be back in a few days to do our week 3.
Less injuries.
Yes. No more injuries.
Just stop. I'm tired of it. It's only week 2 and I already know I'm not going to have this belt in my possession next season. Stop. One healthy season is all I want. I would love to just see a healthy NFL season, dude. I'm tired of these people getting hurt.
It's never going to happen.
I know it's never going to happen. It's just heartbreaking, dude. Like, Love went down, Debo, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nakua. all these elite talents already down, dude. Like, what the fuck? Really bummed me out.
It's because we managed to make it through preseason without anything serious happening.
And that's really what hit me. Week 2 really bummed me out, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Fucking injuries.
All right. You can follow us on Twitter at @draftedup_pod. Like, rate, subscribe, review, YouTube, Apple, Spotify, all that good stuff. We appreciate it. Thanks for listening. Guys, you guys are the best for the Drafted Up podcast. Adios.
Indeed. Tell a friend. Bye.